Okay, we should now be live. We'll take a second to warm up, you know, get the stream going, all that good stuff. You know, let people come along and join us. Of course, we are here for qualifying of the Italian Grand Prix for the WRS Formula 1 Grand Prix Championship. Penultimate race here at Monza in Italy. The guys just warming up prior to qualification, which starts on the hour, roughly 10 minutes time from now. But as I said, just settle into your seats, get a nice drink, put your feet up, relax. Unless you're one of those guys out there driving and happen to be tuning into a bit of pre-quali streaming, in which case, get in the zone. But for now, just stay right where you are, because not long till quali, and I'm just going to send out the messages via the old social networks. So give me a minute there, and then we will kick things off. One moment here. Go. Okay, so the message is out there. We should be, you know, getting things going in a little moment, and I'll be going into, you know, all of the normal qualification procedures and the drivers that we will be seeing this evening, this afternoon, depending on where you are. This morning, maybe even. I don't know.
If he gets in for Q1 and he has problems getting into Q2, we'll just have to switch hosts.
Anyway, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey everyone. Hello everyone. Couple guys joining the chat here. It's always good to see. Anyway, we'll kick this off in a minute. As you can see via the information panel at the bottom of the screen, this is 3D3 Racing's GT Planet Weekly Race Series Formula 1 Championship. This is now the 4th calendar date, perhaps? Let me just find out. Yes, this is the 4th out of 5 dates on the calendar for the F1 Championship. The WRS F1 Championship, and of course we are, as I said, at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, which is happening this weekend as well. The final event on the calendar is Suzuka, the Japanese Grand Prix, which is on October the 13th. That's the race qualifying on October the 12th. Of course, the race for the Italian Grand Prix will be tomorrow at 7 PM GMT, so be sure to tune in for the race tomorrow. It is sure to be an absolute thriller. The long straights here at Monza are going to provide some extreme drafting opportunities, so we should see changes of positions at regular intervals, and no small amount of action, let's hope. I'm sure we'll see a couple of guys finding themselves on the beaches, taking a nice tan, and other guys blazing on through. We're watching our current championship points leader, Pasm Bart, Division 1 silver driver, and he has got so far 2 wins. He took pole position at Monaco and won the race.
He
also took pole position at Grand Prix Grand Prix of Germany. So of course that's Nürburgring. He took pole position and won that race also. Then started, I think, maybe second or maybe like third on the grid for Spa, which was just a couple of weeks ago, and came second in that race. So far is in first place, as I said, on the point standings on 68 points. In second place currently is Spurgey, who placed first in last race at Spa, and he came second at Germany. Didn't do so great at Monaco, he only scored 6 points there. And in third place is Gunas, who sadly has had to drop out. He's started school, college, something along those lines, some kind of education. So it seems like we're saying goodbye to Gunas, who has put himself in a respectable third place in the point standings, and it's a shame that he won't be able to finish off and see if he can build on that good position there. But nonetheless, he's done extremely well to be in third place here. Anyway, as I said, Pazam our leader on 68 points.
Myself, Lucas, and Paul. Okay, so we're just missing Loris.
From what I know, the grid is split into 2 lounges today, since we have a 17-man grid. Of course, Gran Turismo only provides 16 maximum. Because we're using a shared lounge, that reduces it to 15. Then because I'm in here, that reduces it to 14. So we can only have 14 maximum, so of course we then have to split it because we've got 17, so we're going 9 in room A and 7 in room B, I think it looks like 10, 8 in room B, so 9 in room A, which is right here, and 8 in room B. So we will be seeing Spurgey, although I hear he's been having some connection issues, but hopefully we should be seeing Spurgey here, Tam Hablo, Pazam, Matthew, JB, and a new entrance. We have a new registration from the GTP registry, registered specifically to take part in our F1 event, and that is GTP Immortal. Many of you will probably recognize the name, known as Immortal Pilot on GT Planet, and I believe somewhat of a specialist in F1 events. I think he runs his own Formula 1 series, so be interesting to see what kind of impression he's going to make on the race today. This is of course his first race in the series, so he'll be looking to score some points today, or tomorrow even, looking to get maybe into Q3. Let's see if he can get a good qualifying session in today and set himself up nicely for his first race in the series tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Further on down we have WRP, Gravitron, and Rocket is our final member of this room A. In room B, who we won't be seeing unless they qualify into Q2, is Hasamov, Vampire, Lefty Right, Mika, Gazzy Boy, OTX, JTO, Jammy, and Pier. So those are the guys that we won't be seeing at least until Q2, should they progress into that stage. But at least for now we're sticking right here with the guys aforementioned. Let's take a look, see how everyone's doing. I see Dennis in the chat. Hey Dennis.
I don't think it's you, Bart. Once someone's in the lounge, it's usually their own connection that's the issue.
So it does seem like possibly Spurgey having some connection problems here, so hopefully something can be arranged there. But in any case, qualification should be taking part in maybe somewhere between 5 minutes or so, somewhere around there. Of course, we start off with Q1. As usual, the normal qualification procedure will be being taken place. So the top 12 out of 17, I believe. I think we got, or maybe it's about 17 or 16 guys. It looks like there's 17 guys. I believe the top 12 of the 17 from Q1 progress into Q2. From Q2 then, the top 6 of the top 12 progress into the final Q3 stage, where they are going to be going in for a shootout for those grid positions at the top of the grid for tomorrow's race. And of course each round progressively gets shorter, so for Q3 is a 20-minute open qualification session. The guys will be on racing soft tyres for the entirety of Q3, and those guys will be really pushing for some top times. Generally speaking, you won't see a faster time than you see in the Q1, because they can just get the fuel right down
point
and
was
get some
watching
fresh
his,
tyres on.
laps for a couple. We'd at least know his fast lap if he DC's halfway through.
Just listening to a couple of guys talking about
All right, guys, I
connection
want
issues.
Pablo, Bart, Matthew, Lucas, and Rocket to clear times on the board, please.
Anyway, as I said,
and jump in the pits and
Q1
exit
usually
again.
sees us some fantastic times. And then Q2 we go down to a 15-minute session. And then finally for Q3 just 10 minutes to get that perfect lap. But we should see usually the best lap of the day in Q1.
Spurgey is in the B lounge, so we're not going to wait for him. We're going to start on time. And,
so it seems like if you guys may or may not be able to
time
hear WRP speaking in the
Mark's
background
the
there,
one
but Spurgey has gone over to lounge B because he was having some kind of connection problems in this
questions
room.
before we
So
start
he's going to
qualifying?
set his qualifying session there. Maybe we'll be seeing him and some
on
of
your
the other
out
guys
laps
from that
or any
room
laps
later
that
on.
you blow for whatever reason, just be aware of traffic that's on hot laps and give way. Try to minimize any draft. There's no Ferrari job here today. See the Ferrari team all work together on drafting today.
There's the lobby there arranged for you guys. Gravitron also, I believe, first time racing in the series. I think he was persuaded to come and give it a try, so he's going to be
Maybe
qualifying today.
Alright, so the race clock right now is 1:47.
Okay, and we see Tam Hablo now
will
into the room.
kick off Q1 at 1:50, so 3 minutes from now.
Okay. So we just got confirmation again from WRB, if you didn't hear that, that qualification is beginning
I will
3 minutes
announce
from
track
now.
open, and I'll announce checkered flag. The checkered flag will be at 2 hours and 10 minutes on the race clock. I'll type this out in case anyone can't see.
I'm going to have to get myself the good old race map so I can give you guys some good information on the corners and things like that. Here we go. Brilliant. Got a lovely little picture here of the map. Okay, excellent. Okay, so it looks like we are all set. Just a couple minutes away now from the start of Q1. As you can see, the checkered flag will finish, so the Q1 end time on the race clock is 2 hours and 10 minutes. As you can see in the top right hand corner, we're at 1:48. So we'll be going at the 150 mark, I believe. That's right, we'll be going at the 150 mark in about a minute and a half. Q1 will be kicking off and it'll run for 20 minutes. And those guys will be going for their fastest possible laps. Hopefully the quality is looking okay. You guys be sure to let me know if there's any problems quality-wise. But from my end, it looks like everything is running fine, which is good to
to
hear.
go in the pits or stay in the lobby, whatever. I'll give you.
I got a
warning
drink with
before
me
we
here.
start.
My throat's not
Right now, the
holding
race
up
clock is
so great
1:40.
today for some reason.
It's
Got a
about
bit
to
of a
hit
rough throat,
1:49,
so
but we'll wait,
excuse me if I go take a drink every so
for
often,
JB
but I'll
consistency.
keep you guys
Spurgeon on the other one too, so.
updated as quickly as possible.
I know.
Looks like JB joining in late here. Hopefully
What I'll
that's
do
the
is I'll
last
do
person we
do
see
a minute,
joining.
and then that'll be my own.
Tactics for the track then. I mean, this is obviously a track with lots of straights. It's kind of a massive critical point to get that perfect exit speed. Of course, to maximise your speed down the straight, you want a really good exit so that you can get up to the top speeds at a faster rate. Just, you know, if you oversteer slightly on the exit of a corner, or just, you know, miss your apex,
Big,
anything like that,
good?
if you don't get your exit just right, you're really going to suffer down the straights, and that's where we'll see, you know, the really good times is where it's just time after time getting the perfect exit and getting a really
So
good
we'll
run
start
down the
at,
next straight.
152.
Another crucial section of the track, of course, is the chicane.
And at 212. I'll give you a
Just
1 minute
after the
warning, and I'll,
finish line straight, so
enter
you
the
come
pits
down that
myself.
very long back straight, and then into a tiny, tight right left-hand right hand and then left hand chicane. Very slow. These guys are probably going through in first gear, going lock to lock to squeeze through that chicane as quickly as possible, but that really goes from, you know, super top speed down to nothing. It'll be hard braking in there, so the guys obviously need to be aware of brakes locking up if they're not using ABS. Even with ABS, you've got to be a little bit careful going heavy on the brakes, and they'll heat up, and you know, you don't want them to be locking up in that section there. And then of course on the exit, even you know, avoiding too much oversteer, wheel spin. You want to be careful on the accelerator as you come out of there, just making sure the car's gripped nicely to the track. As I was saying, the good exit is what's going to be all important here, and that goes into turn 2, which is a big right-hander, which is a Grand. The turn is called Grande, and then we come down into sector 2. And we've got another little chicane, little left and a right. And we go into the double right-hander, which is Lesmo. So you go right into, which is Lesmo 1, and then you exit right again, Lesmo 2, and then another long straight all the way back down towards another sort of smoother chicane, I guess you could say. You got a left, right, left, which is a Scari, and then we go back into another long straight as we race back towards the final turn, which is turn 8, Parabolica, where it kind of tightens immediately, and then the kind of it's another right-hander where it just kind of widens as you come out. So again, another one where exit is all important.
Good luck. 20 minutes.
There is the start of Q1, so the pits have been opened and the guys are out on track. Pasm has gotten out first here, so we shall follow him round on his out lap here. Again, as usual, the guys will be looking to find a little bit of space for themselves to get their laps in. Looks like Pasm actually taking that in second gear. I guess gearing is quite important. Maybe these guys got the gears set up, you know, to match exactly how they prefer it. I'm sure some guys will take it in first, some guys in second. Looks like Pasm for the most part taking that one in second, at least that's what it looks like early on. And it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain his extremely strong record in qualifying. As I said, he qualified on pole position for the first 2 and won both those races. And then for Spa, he had the fastest time in qualifying, but that sadly came in Q2. An incident in Q3 with Tam Hablo. Him and Tam Hablo had a little run-in which caused him to crash, and since that point in Q3, Pasm just didn't really get a rhythm going and didn't manage to get onto pole position for Spa, but obviously came second overall in the race in the end, following a mistake. He was leading until just the very end, only about 5 laps left, and unfortunately lost it on one of the last corners, put it in the sand, and Spurgey managed to take the lead off him. But here we go for the first hot lap then. We are on board, or watching here, Pasm as he comes around for his first hot lap. This is our championship leader with 2 wins and a second place podium finish. Spurgey still joining for some reason, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Anyway, let's bring up the map. Enough of the messages, and I'll put it on full view so you can see just where everyone is. And as we come round for the start finish line, I'll throw up the timing screen so we can see exactly how everyone is starting to shape up just after 1 hot lap. For those of you that may have joined late, I was talking about our participants. This week we have in this particular room, again it's split, there's I think 17 drivers in total, so we had to do another room split, but in the room that we're watching now was supposed to be Spurgey, but he couldn't connect. We then have Tam Hablo, Pasm, GM Matthew, JB, Immortal, WRP, Gravitron and Rocket. And in room B that we're not seeing, we may see some of those guys for Q2 if they can progress that far, is Hasselmoff, Vampire, Lefty Right, Amiga, Gazzyboy, OTXJ, Jammy and Pier. And for those of you that again may have missed it, we have a brand new sign up to the GTP registry, which is GTP Immortal, who is, as I said, somewhat of an F1 specialist from my knowledge, so it'll be interesting to see how he can do in his first qualifying session here. So having done 1 lap then, we'll have a look at the times. Immortal setting the fastest first lap so far with a 1:21.788. Pasm coming in only a couple tenths slower with a 1:22.016. Of course, we are running this with the fuel and tyre wear set on to normal, so as we get deeper into the Q1 session, it's a 20-minute long session, the fuel gauges will be going down, the car will be getting lighter and lighter as we go through, and somewhere near the end, for a last few laps, the guys will drop into the pits and take a fresh set of softs, get them warmed up, and then just go for that absolute flying lap with an empty tank of fuel to get, you know, what potentially could be just the perfect lap. So we should see times drop and drop as we get closer to that end of Q1, which, as I said, was at 2 hours and 10 minutes on the total timer, which you can see in the top right hand corner, currently on 1 hour 56. So we're going to 2 hours 10 minutes on there until the end of Q1. We'll switch to Immortal here, who still currently has the fastest lap with a 1:21.788. Pasm now with a 1:21.831 on his last lap. Matthew moves into third with a 1:22.487. JB in fourth, 1:23.124. Rocket moves up into fifth with a 1:23.298. Gravitron currently in sixth with a 1:23.680. WRP 7th, 1:23.732. And currently Tam Hablo, who qualified on pole position, didn't do so well in the race at Spa, but he had that pole position. He is currently in 8th place. Not really getting a fast lap. He's on a 1:49, so he must have not really had the best of luck so far. But we've just seen WRP move into third with a 1:22.377, so he is now in third, as I said. And we shall just wait to see what Pasm can do as he comes round to the end of his fourth lap, I believe, or third lap it looks like. He scores a 1:21.643, which puts him into first place, but Immortal coming in quickly behind him. Let's see if he can improve on that, which he does. He goes now 4 tenths up on Pasm with a 1:21.281, so current leader still Immortal. Pasm closely behind in second. Those two, the only two currently in the 21s. Third place currently is WRP. Watching WRP as he heads towards our final corner, Parabolica. As I said, this is all about just getting that perfect time to accelerate. Got to brake just kind of late into the corner and then accelerate out the other side. When you get that perfectly smooth exit, as I said, to get the most potential speed down the back straight, and then braking hard into that first chicane. Which I believe is called Retafilo, if I'm not wrong. That's the name of that chicane. Retafilo? Something like that. Something along those lines. Following GM Matthew now for a little while. Matthew currently in 6th in the overall standings with 18 championship points. Germany, he picked up 10 points, and at Spa a couple of weeks back he picked up 8 points. So he is currently in 6th place. Current splits looks like he will pass WRP, which he does. He goes into third now then with a 1:21.689. Third guy to get into the 1:21s. Still no one beating Immortals at 1:21.281. Still currently our leader here in Q1. JB moves up again above WRP. He is now on a 1:21.943. Be interesting to see if the whole of this first lobby will get into the 21s. We've just seen a crash there from Matthew, unfortunately, on the exit of that second chicane, which is Della Rogia. I think that is how that one is said. Tam Hablo finally getting in a quick lap of a 1:22.145. He is in 5th. WRP slowly moving down from his 3rd position there. Currently on board with Tam Hablo. He is coming down past the Seraglio, something like that, on the straight there, and then coming through Escari back down to the final corner, Parabolica. Let's take a look at our current 7th place Gravitron. Again, he is another guy, first time in the F1 Championship. First time participating. He's joined in this time for our Italian Grand Prix. Looks like most of the guys taking the chicane there, the first chicane Rettifilo, in 2nd gear, so I guess that maybe offers a little bit more torque. Obviously it does depend how you've set your gears up, but I can only presume that in 1st there just isn't quite enough torque for the speed of the exit that you need. So the guy is taking it in 2nd. Gravitron just miscalculating the 2nd chicane there. Rogia. Della Rogia. I guess that one was called. And currently 8th place, Rocket, who also has points at the moment. Rocket currently down in 13th. He's got 5 points, picked up a single point at Monaco and 4 points at Germany, but didn't manage to get any at the last race at Spa. But he is in 13th place at the moment.
About 10 minutes left.
Just hearing WRP saying that we have 10 minutes left of Q1. At the end of the session, of course, we will amalgamate all the times from this lobby and the 2nd room. Of course, you guys remember that this is split into 2 rooms, as we had 17 drivers, and anyone there who beat times in this room, or in fact the top 12, will progress into Q2, and they'll all be coming into this lounge here, where we will see Q2 with all the drivers there, so we won't be missing anyone once we get into Q2. Just going to take a drink for a moment, so I'll be back on the mic in just a moment. And I'm back. We're going to move back to our leader of the qualifying session, GTP Immortal. He's so far happy that he is holding on to 1st position in Q1. I'll show the times here. Immortal pushed his time now down to a flat 121, which is a 121.017, current fastest time of Q1. Pasm also haven't pushed his time, but 4/10 slower currently with a 21.461. Matthew not close behind with a 21.689. JB, our final guy in the 21s, with a 21.943. WP only a 10th behind. He's with a 22 flat. And a 10th behind him, Tam Hablo. Looks like Spurgy has actually joined the room. Hopefully that's not disrupting anyone. Those, of course, do pop messages up onto the screen when guys join. Kind of a little bit irritating, but of course it'll be a massive disadvantage. He will have a much fuller tank of fuel, just starting his 1st hot lap now. He'll have a full tank of fuel, cold tyres, and of course instead of the full 20 minutes, he's only got about 5 minutes left to qualify. But qualify he will. He's going to do his best to try and do what he can to stay into Q2. It's not going to be easy, that's for sure, but of course Spurgy, a D1 gold driver, he is right at the top there of the registry, so you know, he's got a good chance of getting himself back in there after starting late. Obviously having some kind of connection problems, maybe he's reset his router. Let's hope that he can stay in from now, otherwise really he's got no chance of getting a good qualifying session in, and will have to start from the back of the grid if he can't get a solid lap, but hopefully he can get something down and place himself somewhere on the grid there. No current changes so far to the leaderboards, still with Immortal in 1st, Pasm 2nd, GM Matthew 3rd, JB 4th, WRP in 5th, Tam Hablo 6th, Gravitron 7th and Rocket still in 8th. Rocket obviously having a bit of trouble. Got a 1:57 last lap, so looks like he's found the sand somewhere along the line. Spurgey gets his first hot lap and instantly moves into 7th place, so you can see that natural speed coming out there. He passes Rocket and Gravitron, having just done a single hot lap. He gets into a 1:22.629. It'll be interesting to see at what point the cutoff will be. Of course, as I said earlier, we'll be seeing times from the second room being amalgamated with this room, and the top 12 will proceed to Q2, where we will follow the action right here, so do not go anywhere. We've now seen a new fastest lap, Immortal with quite literally a 21 flat. He's got a 21.000. Just missing out on that 20, the 120. He's in the 121s. And Pazam also bringing his time down to a 121.3. WRP still chasing that 121. He's still on the 122 flat. And GM Matthew down to a 121.482. JB just improves his time by a tenth or two, getting a 121.792, but he is still in 4th place. Okay, scratch that. Commentator's curse. WRP jumps ahead of him by merely 400ths of a second there, with a 121.751. So he's now in 4th place. JB down to 5th, and Tam Hablo in 6th, currently with a 122.145. And we see a new leader now with Pazam. He has now moved into 1st, and immediately Immortal takes the position back. So Pazam the first to get into the 120s with a 129.65. On the very same lap, of course, Pazam is leading, Immortal just behind him, and Immortal then beats that time set by Pazam by another, well, 3 tenths there, so a pretty significant jump. Didn't stay in 2nd for long, and Pazam's got more chasing to do as Immortal again takes the lead with a 120.649. Just 2 minutes left in qualifying now. These guys will be looking to try and secure that Q2 slot. Still yet to find out how the other room is doing, but we will find out shortly where exactly these guys are going to be placing in terms of qualifying into Q2. GM Matthew scores a 121.1, so he has now improved his time, and JB jumps back ahead of WRP with a 21.416. WRP currently sitting on a 121.751, so he gets into the 21s, and still Tam Hablo chasing that 121. This is unusually slow for him. He has, of course, got pole position at Spa, and we all know that he is extremely quick. Another D1 gold driver, and I'm sure he'd be looking to improve on that 122 there. Let's not take away anything from the guys above him. Of course, they're all setting very quick lap times indeed, but I'm sure Tam Hablo will be looking to improve on that one. We'll just watch JB now as he heads in towards Ascari here. Very respectable 121.4 currently. And it looks like Immortal has just lowered his time one more notch to a 120.343, so Pazam really has got some chasing to do if he wants to match that time. Pazam's first sector though not looking strong, so it's not going to be this lap, but potentially he just went into the pits or something. We're not quite sure what's going on there, but Pazam's got a lot of chasing to do if he wants to be matching Immortal on the grid tomorrow. Everything can change, of course, in Q3 when pressure really tightens. You've only got the 10-minute slot and really very little time to get that perfect lap. We'll go back to our leader, currently coming out of the pits here, GTP Immortal, with the best lap of a 120.343. Pretty significant lead, actually, and with that, actually, we have the checkered flag. So I'll stick that checkered flag up there. That needs to be called out in just a moment, hopefully. I won't interrupt these guys, but hopefully I'll be noting down the time there, as we have already run over the checkered flag time, which was 2 hours 10 on the clock. Just reading a bit about our let's have a look here actually.
Checkered, guys, checkered.
There we go, so there is the checkered flag, maybe just missed by WRP, but we have heard the checkered flag. These guys will be finishing up their last laps now. They obviously will get to finish that final lap. Pasm brought his time down to a 120.8, but still not matching Immortal's 20.3. Matthew in third, looks like he won't be doing another lap. He's got a 121.188. I'm sure he'll be more than happy with that one. JB fourth, and WRP currently in fifth with 21.7. Sam Habler gets into the 21s with a 21.8. He's in sixth. Spurgey seventh with the 22.108. Rocket has moved into eighth with a 122.1, and Gravitron in ninth with a 22.481. Doesn't look like there's going to be any other changes of positions unless we see some flying laps from Gravitron perhaps here. Might be able to move ahead of Rocket. It looks like he doesn't quite get the time needed. So that wraps up our Q1. We will be getting the results in shortly. Looks like everyone has now parked, so there is the end of Q1, and just shortly we will be getting the results from both rooms, and we will be able to see exactly who is going to be progressing into the Q2. Winner from Q1 anyway, with GTP Immortal setting the 120.343.
Immortal with a 20.343. Bart Pasm 20.788. Matthew 21.188. JB 21.205. WRP 21.730. Tim Hablo 21.837. Bergie 22.108. Rocket 22.181, and Gravitron 22.481.
So there are all the times. WRP just reading out the times from this room's Q1.
Right now.
The times are going up on the board as we speak.
Right now, Lucas is on the bubble with 2 more times to come in. Oops, just got bumped by 500ths. 500ths of a second. Yep, you're on the bubble.
And it looks like we have
so everyone
the
in this room
final
except
results
for
there.
Lucas advanced to Q2. Lucas, you're welcome to stick around and observe, obviously.
Okay. So we're just going to get that sheet up for you guys. Give me just
you
one
will. There's only 12 advancing, so.
Give me a moment, and I'll get the results
Good job,
from
guys.
Q1 up on the screen.
The next round will be 15 minutes, and we will have you guys can go on track now. We're open. It'll be a little bit for them to come over, and then we'll have a little timer before we start. Nice lap, Morrow. I think I got my best lap on the last one.
Okay. Save as. Okay, looks like we're set to go. put that up on screen. We'll move our checkered
Glad
flag.
you could connect in, Spurgey. Let's get worried about you there.
There
Yeah,
we have
no
it.
kidding.
Q1. Let's just.
Well, at least you've got your Q2
Yes,
spot
there we
in
go.
now. If you happen to DC, you'll be good.
Okay.
I'm sure you're looking for more than that, but still.
Not the prettiest thing in the world, but there we go.
Okay.
As we can see,
The,
all the
guys are
times
coming
up
over
from
now.
all the
From the
groups.
other room, the advancers were Ghazi, Pierre, Joe, and Hasselhoff.
You can just hear WRP talking about who from the other room that we didn't get to see has progressed. So as he just rounded up,
No, you're right,
Hasselhoff from room
Everyone's
B
in this
with a
lounge advanced except for Lucas,
122.072 took 7th place, so
Yeah,
he will be
track's open, go
joining
ahead.
us in Q2. Additionally, Gazzy Boy, we've seen him in last
You're
couple of
So
races.
close, Lucas.
He made 10th place with a 122.326 from room B. In 11th, OTX JTO again from room B with a 122.387. He takes 11th. And in 12th, at our cutoff point again from room B, is Pierre with a 22.438. Gravitron, as you can see, loses out by about 0.05 of a second in 13th place with the 122.481, and that is the cutoff line. So unfortunately, for those guys, they will be making up those slots on the grid. So Vampire
good
will
laps
be
on
in
full
17th
fuel.
on the
I hope I
grid,
can do
Lefty
that
right
next time.
16th, Mika in 15th place,
22 flat,
Jamie is in 14th on the
21.9,
grid,
I
and
think.
Gravitron on 13th. On the grid, tomorrow's race at 7 PM GMT. Be sure to tune in. You can find that on my channel, and of course in the thread information, all that good stuff. You can find that race. We'll be broadcasting right here on YouTube, so be sure to come along. Should be an absolutely epic race,
Would you
as they
mind,
have been
directing
so
Q2?
far. Anyway, these top 12 guys will be participating in Q2
Just the time.
in just a moment.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Where
distracting
we
on the last
will
couple
see
laps,
who
looking
is
up
going to
the
be
time
making it
constantly.
into our final Q3 session.
Great. Yeah, Matthew, that is a sweet lap. You and JB, just on the border of 20s there. Big jump to the rest of us.
See what you guys are
I kind of
saying.
messed up my parabolica on the last lap. My lap was the last lap was the quickest
Yeah,
as
John,
well.
2:12 checkered, a bit late, but what can you do, eh?
Okay,
Yeah,
the guys
yeah.
are on their way.
It's
I
just a
reckon
tough
I
job.
lost maybe
WRP,
2
of course,
tenths, but
directing the
not,
race, telling
4
everyone,
tenths.
you know, when the times are up and
So the top
when to
6
start, when
advanced
to
to
stop. But
Q3
of course,
today,
he's
only
also
6,
racing
so
at the
half
same
the
time,
field
so
will be
he's got a lot to
eliminated.
think about, and it's definitely not an easy job. I'm sure a lot of guys don't envy.
I wish I could take my Q1 result, Q2 and transfer it.
Don't envy that position.
Paul's
But
fast.
yeah, a couple minutes extra on quality, I'm
exactly.
sure it will be forgivable given the circumstances. Thanks,
Yeah, me too,
JK.
Rob. I think it's gonna be close.
I'm
They wanna
glad
be
you think
7th
so.
again. Like I'm always on the bubble. I'm sure Spurgey and Loris will pull something out of their hat for round 2.
Let's pop that up there.
But
We'll leave
Spurgey
these
only had
scores
10
up
minutes,
just for
so-
now. And in just a moment, we'll be starting Q2 for Monza Italian Grand Prix.
The first chicane, I was just nailing it every lap. It was nice. I was kind of messing up the second chicane, but the first one was just good. I almost said perfect every time.
Just glad I didn't actually go off.
I was going to go into it earlier, but we've
I
got
saw you
some
waiting on the,
information
yeah,
down for
lap
the
ready.
drivers
I thought
here,
it was
and
before
our newest driver,
half the
Immortal,
door.
gave us a bit of information about himself, and obviously only come in for the last couple races, you know, Monza and Suzuka, and
Okay, so we're
yeah,
still waiting
basically
for,
just signed up to participate in the F1
the,
event. Maybe we'll see him elsewhere around in WRS. But yeah, big F1 guy, and obviously experienced, races in his own league, I believe. Done an F2010 or an F10 World Championship stock and an FGT stock championship elsewhere on GT Planet. Those series. Says he's won all of the seasons that he's participated in F1 leagues, so pretty big achievement there. Just waiting for the last person from the other lobby to join, and then Q2 will begin.
If you're not going to run any laps right now, go ahead and clear your times out. Enter the pits and exit back. I think we're just waiting for Hasselhoff now. So as soon as he joins, we'll pick a
Trophy
start
icons. Yeah, okay. Explain that. Okay, so basically the way the divisions work is there's 5 divisions
Here, I
in
still have
total.
loading. I don't know if he actually
1
is
through
loading.
5. 1 is the top division, 5 is the bottom division. Then each division is subdivided
Okay, there
into
he is. Yep.
trophies, I guess you could say, you know, subdivisions
Okay,
basically. So effectively you've got 5
Pablo,
divisions times
Art,
3. So
Spurgey,
if
you
you want to
guys
be
want a
particular,
third
there's
time?
15
Same with
divisions
Rocket and
in
Loris.
the registry,
Yeah, Rocket and Loris
with
just exit, you'll be
Division 1 Gold being the very top
Yeah,
of the
the
top.
top
Those, you know, the alien drivers, the guys who you see at the
good. Top 6. So half the field will make it
GT
through.
Academy, all that good stuff. Those are your super fast drivers.
Clock time
That
right
goes all the
now
way
is
down to
2:22.
D5 bronze.
We'll wait till Spurgey comes back.
Each
Most
division
likely
has
we'll
bronze,
try to
silver,
start
gold.
around, 2:25, so we'll see what,
Yeah, it's basically
Spurgey
just it's a way of
has to say.
subdividing it. So
And it's only 15
my
minutes, so
division
it'll go from
placement is
225 to
D2
240.
bronze. So if you look at Hasselhoff, he is in Division 2 bronze. The colours on the division is just
Someone
the
has
colours for the
TV on
division.
or
So
something,
Div
you
1
wanna
is
mute your mic?
blue, Div 2 brown, Div 3 is green, Div 4 is... You see, now you're testing my knowledge. I don't bloody know. And something else for Div 5. I don't know. And then, as I said, each one divided into gold, silver, and bronze. So you can see Tam Hablo is a Div 1 gold. That's what the gold trophy looks like. And then Pasm is the silver, and JB and Matthew is a bronze. Yeah, so as I said, that goes all the way from top to bottom, each division with 3 subdivisions. Looks like Spurgey's still having problems connecting here.
Okay, all drivers in the pits.
Okay, so it
We'll
looks like
start
we are
in,
moving
1
into
minute and 20
Q2,
seconds,
so
assuming
I have
Spurgey can load in.
taken down the scoreboard there, and Q2 will begin shortly, as you can see.
So we're going to be starting at 2:25, going until 2:40.
If you didn't hear WRP just explaining that on the total race timer, which I'll bring up now, we are starting at 2:25, so total time is at 2:24, so in 1 minute time,
Okay, 1 minute to track open.
track is open, and of course now we're in Q2 is just 15 minutes to set that lap that you need to progress to Q1 or Q3 even. You don't want to go backwards,
Here, you want to go on track.
meaning that the checkered flag for Q2 is at 2 hours and 40
30 seconds.
on the total time clock. 15 and a half minutes from now, half a minute away from Q2. We'll see if Immortal will hold the current top lap, as we saw, which was the 1:20.343. It's
Yep.
going to be difficult to beat that. As I
15
talked about the
seconds,
fuel
guys.
before, the cars really do get a lot faster as the fuel gauge goes down, and just become overall lighter to drive. So
5,
it's going to be tough to
4,
beat a Q1
3,
time. So we'll
2,
see how
1.
that goes.
Track open, good luck.
Track is now open. Pasm darts out again, out in front. Spurgey and Matthew not far behind. Pasm likes being out in front there. Nice bit of fresh air, I guess. We'll bring up the track map as usual. What is going on there? Looks like Spurgey crashed into the barrier at the chicane. Not the best way to start the qualifying session, that's for sure. Anyway, Pasm with an entire track to race into here. He's got nothing to worry about as he takes us out for the outlap of Q2. And very secure time, of course. coming in second overall with the 1:20.788, but he's a long way off Immortal's top time. And if he wants to get on pole position, as he has done twice before in this season, he really needs to push that time even further in the shorter time span that we have. We'll see what he can do under pressure. Immortal coming out second, GM Matthew behind him. Of course, GM Matthew in third as well, with a 21.188. Only 2 drivers getting into the 20s with Pasm and Immortal, so a bit of a delta between second and third, and then we kind of see a big jump between fourth, which is JB on a 21.2, and WRP in fifth on a 21.7, so there's a half a second gap there between those guys, with Tam Hablo just behind WRP, a 10th behind with a 21.8. Pasm missing his braking marker for the chicane, so he loses his first one, and he's picked up a bit of damage on his front left. Going to be a bit of a bummer for him. Obviously not going to be setting your fastest lap on your first hot lap, but you don't want to be wasting it. Of course, it's good to get a safety lap in. You know, the more laps you can get in, the better, of course. But we'll switch to Immortal, who now takes us round for the first hot lap. Pasm has lost that ever important position up ahead. Rocket getting caught on the second chicane there, it looks like. And the pressure really is mounting for these guys. You know, every second counts, every lap really counts as the timer goes down. Lapping 120s, so you're going to get about 6 laps in. Only about 6 laps, depending on when you cross the start-finish. So you really need to make every last lap count here. Or, sorry, 6, that's for 10 minutes, my bad. So you're going to be getting about maybe 9-10 laps in. Something like that. And Spurgey really not having the time of his life at the moment. I believe he just span at Parabolica maybe. Yeah, we're seeing Gazzy Boy there. Spurgey spinning just prior to Parabolica there. Not quite sure what happened. And also Rocket having a little bit of trouble. These two getting off the mark. Anyway, let's take a look at our live timings. As we have now seeing our first hot lap time. Immortal going straight in for a 21.5, and that is a killer opening lap. Great lap from Immortal there. Matthew following in with a 22.6, JB with a 22.9, Hasselhoff gets the 23.5, Gazzy Boy shifts up into 4th with a 23.2, WRP's in 6th, 25.2, so down there not looking at super fast lap times. Those guys probably still in a bit of traffic, just trying to find a space of their own to really lay down the laps that they want. Already seeing someone in the pits there, not sure who that is. Looks like it was OTX JTO in the pits already, and someone else just spinning out there. Who's that? End of second chicane. I don't know. Someone else spinning. Anyway, lots of guys spinning here on the cold tyres. Interesting to see. Interesting to see. Let's take a look, see what you guys are saying. Yes. Yes, the P, yes, just to clarify, going back to the medals, the P is if someone's recently submitted a qualifier, they can get like a rough time down to give you a provisional. It's kind of like a provisional license, so it allows you to race, but you don't get your final, placement down. So they'll say whether you're D1, D2, but you won't get your final handicap and you know what I mean. So the P is provisional, yes. Anyway. Immortal down to a 21.1, still in first. Pasm gets a good lap on lap 2, end of lap 2, hot lap, and he is on a 122 flat. GM Matthew down to third with a 22.2, and Tam Hablo moving up into fourth with a 22.7. Judging by Q1 times, we're looking at somewhere around a high 21 for the cutoff. So current cutoff is at JB. Of course, the top 6 progress into Q3. 22.9. Probably going to be looking at a second off that time into Q3. So plenty of time left. But currently JB is the cutoff time. Plasma improving his time. JB jumps up into third with a 21.8. Judging by times, basically we're looking at Immortal through to JB already safe into Q3. Of course anything can change, someone might get an absolutely killer lap, but just going off Q1 times, currently JB and Up are safe. Matthew probably looking to improve on the time that he's set here. As I said, a high 21, probably a low 22 at the least being the cutoff for Q3. Let's go on board with one of the guys we haven't seen yet. Hasselhoff, he came from the second lounge. Just heading into Ascari here. He's currently on a 22.590. His time from Q1 was a 22 flat. So it's 5 tenths. Oh, excuse me, 5 tenths off his best time in qualifying so far. WRP moves up into 4th with a 22.1, and then GM Matthew overtakes him with a slightly better 22.1, 4 hundredths or 3 hundredths faster than WRP's. Hasselhoff scores a killer time with a 22.230, not far off his best time from Q1, which isn't bad. Another guy from the second lounge, Pier, he's currently on a 22.634. He's in the pits at the moment, probably getting those fresh tyres on. His best, he scraped in on the margin. He was in 12th after Q1. Beat Gravitron by 5 hundredths of a second with a 22.438. He's on a 22.634, so he's not far off his best lap already. Yeah. Another of the Room B guys coming through is Gazzy Boy. Again, we've seen him in a couple of previous races. Best lap from Q1 was the 22.326 and currently on a 22.8. So he'll be looking to try and improve that as we get a little bit closer to the final time, which is about 6 minutes from now. We'll see the checkered flag. So these guys have got about 5 more laps, 4 or 5 more laps left in them. So yeah, as I said, around 8 or 9 laps, that's what I had predicted. Should be about right. And our final qualifier through to Q2, who is in Room B, is OTX JTO, who is in 11th place with a 22.387. He's not made into the 22s yet. He's in the 23.762 in 11th place currently. And for some reason I only just noticed the fact that Spurgey is not here. Seeing OTX JTO in the sand. Right down at Parabolica. But yes, it looks like no Spurgey. I don't know how I didn't notice that before, but obviously he was in 8th with a 22.1, and I guess he couldn't connect or something. Not sure what's gone on there, but it looks like he's not going to be getting any further than that. So he'll be starting at the back of the Q2 lot in 12th place on the grid for Spurgey. So he's going to have a bit of a job building his way through the pack to make up any positions there, starting in 12th. And he'll be, I'm sure, more than a little frustrated. It's always annoying when connection problems come between you in a race. I've had that a couple times, but never so bad for me. Generally my connection holds up, but I can definitely comprehend people's frustration when, you know, just a bad connection is what stands between them and being able to get the racing that they want, which is unfortunate, but you know, these things happen and just got to make the best out of the situation. At least he did get a time onto the board, and you know, has made it into Q2, well, effectively 12th on the grid, so got to work with what he's got, and he'll try and improve from there. But current standings anyway, we'll go back to the top of the leaderboards with Immortal still holding on to his #1 spot with a 121.1. Pasm with a 121.4. Third place JB 121.8. Tam Habler's moved into fourth with a 21.9. GM Matthew with a 22.1, and WRP with the current cutoff at a 22.1. Hasselhoff 1/10 behind him with a 22.2. So that is our current cutoff. Rocket moves into 10th with a 22.9. So everyone in the 22s now, except from OTX JTO, who made it to 22.3 in Q1. So I'm sure he'll be looking to improve on that time there. Someone stuck. Looks like WRP stuck in a Scari there. And looks like he's collected a couple friends too. How unfortunate. Looks like maybe JB. I'm not sure. Looks like Tam Hablo and WRP coming into some kind of disagreement at Ascari there. And at this point on the timer, that is not going to be too great. Of course, that's a lost lap. These guys may have picked up a little bit of damage. Looks like they got away clean actually. Yeah, both guys taking no damage, but of course that is a lap lost, and with only 2.5 minutes remaining, maybe another 2 laps to squeeze in here if they're quick. And that could really be killer. Hopefully not though. Hopefully it was a rubbish lap anyway before then. Let's check back on the comments here. There we go, yes. All's well. Okay. Currently watching WRP as we come through second chicane there, Rogia. And down to the 2 curves of Lesmo. Lesmo 1 there, and then into Lesmo 2. Looks like JB has found the beach. He is getting his tan on in the sun there. Hope he's got his sun cream on. Good job from JB there, really just observing where the other guys on the track are, making sure he's not emerging right in front of guys coming through that corner full speed. Rocket makes the pass there, sneaks a bit of draft in for that every little bit of time. Taking a look back on the leaderboards then, Immortal Pilot has made it into the 20.9, and this is super close now. So in first place we have Immortal with a 20.946, and just 200ths behind him is Pasm with a 20.965. Very close at the top there. GM Matthew almost an entire second behind, although Tam Hablo just leapfrogs him with a 21.5, but 0.6 of a second between second and third, as I was talking about, that big delta there. And GM Matthew 21.8, JB in fifth with a 21.8, well, Jesus Christ, so Matthew with a 21.877 in fourth, and JB with a 21.878, so he's 1,000ths of a second faster, Matthew, than JB. Super close, fourth and fifth, and WRP still at that cut-off, 22 flat. Hasselhoff with a couple tenths to make up there. Looks like Immortal found the wall at the first chicane at Reticilio, or potentially has parked it. Yes, looks like Immortal is parked then, from what I can see. Of course he is safe, and there is the checkered flag.
Checkered. You can finish your current laps.
So we'll take a look at the timings board, see if anyone can get in a last killer lap. Pasm's currently on the 20. Oh, Immortal beat his previous best with a 20.4. Pasm also beat his previous best, but only by a tenth with a 20.8. Matthew takes third with a 21.451. Tam Habler coming in for his final lap potentially. No, it looks like he's finished with a 21.551. JB with a 21.878, and on his final lap, Rocket takes 6th position from WRP. He gets a 21.941, beating WRP's 22 flat by just 0.06 of a second. WRP will be I'm sure, more than a little bit upset about that. He loses out to Rocket, who makes it through to Q3. WRP will take 7th on the grid, Hasselhoff in 8th with a 22.140. Gaziboy 9th on the grid with 22.633. Peer in 10th with a 22.634. So he is a 1,000th behind Gaziboy, putting him in 10th place, and 6/10ths behind in 11th on the grid. OTX JTO with a 23.296. So some last second action. Let's see what is to be said from Rocket there. I'm sure he'll be more than happy about that, but WRP just losing out. Rocket,
I don't know if Spurgey got in any laps.
Making
So,
the
he's gonna have to hold on
all-important...
his, assuming he didn't advance. Looks like I got Bubble Boy again.
Yeah, right at the last second.
That's 3 times the last lap it got me. Alright, so Immortal first with a 20.471. Bart,
And there's the cheeky little
20.889.
apology from Rocket as he
Matthew,
pulled it in on his
21.451.
final lap to make it through to
Loris,
Q3.
21.551. JB, 21.878. Rocket, 21.941. Those are the guys who advanced. WRP, 22.003. Hasselhoff, 22.140.
We'll get the results up in just a moment here.
Peer, 22.634.
Oof.
Joe, 23.296. And Spurgey, unknown.
Nah, he's close between me and Pierre.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's twice I exit the track to check times in 6th.
Great language
and
from
end up in
Gazi
7th
with
by
it.
the time I get to the leaderboard.
My apologies for that if you heard it.
Alright, so Immortal, Bart, Matthew, Loris, JB, and Rocket will advance to Q3. We'll start in just a few minutes. The clock right now is 2:42:57. If everyone would clear their times, including the guys who aren't advancing.
Let's not make it that
You don't want to
fat,
take
that
part?
just looks ugly.
You're kidding me. You make it to Q3 over me and you don't want to do it?
Does that mean you're in?
No. Means he starts in 6th. Should have hit the brake at the end.
Rocket being a bit of a pussy, it seems.
Should at least try.
Yeah. I think he's kidding. There was some serious traffic on that one.
So there are other times then. We can just confirm. Finishing first again. Same from Q1. Immortal takes first in Q2 with a 20.471. Pasm in second with a 20.889. Matthew takes third with a 21.451. Tam Hablo fourth with a
I almost crashed into
21.551.
Matthew. Got by him and then I crashed in his
Fifth
car.
is JB with a 21.878, and sixth is Rocket with a 21.941.
Pierre, Matthew, please clear times.
The blank space on the
And
bottom
then the
is where
6 guys who are
Spurgey should
advancing,
be.
please enter the track.
We didn't
Still need
receive
Pierre
a
to clear
time
his
from Spurgey, unfortunately, because of his connection problems. But he'll be in 12th place there, where the blank is. And the guys above, that is their positions on the grid. The final 6 will be now shooting it out for those top 6 grid positions. Rocket seems fairly content on 6th place, but he's done extremely well to get there. He's only a 10th behind JB, so
in the pits.
everything could change. We shall see.
Okay, we will start at 2:46, which is 45 seconds from now, and go until 2:56.
So we've got 10 minutes then for Q3. In just a moment. Going at 2 hours and 46 on the
30
race timer
seconds.
in 30 seconds time and 10 minutes, so we will be finishing at 2:56 on the total timer. Let's move to Q3. These guys battling it out one last time here. at the Italian Grand Prix
10 seconds.
qualifying session. Our championship leader, Pazin,
5, 4,
once again into
3,
Q3.
2, 1.
He'll
Track's
see if he
open, guys.
can
Good
make
luck.
that pole position ahead of Immortal, who is currently finished top in Q1 and 2. Pazin breaks out in first once again. And this time he'll hope to not crash into the chicane like he did. With only 10 minutes, you've got about 4 or 5 laps, probably about 5 laps to get in. Any mistakes are really going to cost you here, so you just cannot afford to be making a single slip up. But these guys are all at the top of their game, so I'm sure we should be seeing some top laps. Following Bart, Pazin, as usual, on the outlap for Q3 then. Nope. Apologies there, just a short timeout, but we are back in the game. And all is well. Bart approaching the final corner here, which is Parabolica, ready for his first flying hot lap. Takes it very wide, getting every last bit of top speed that he can for this straight. Tam Havler coming around in second. He somehow picked up some damage, so somehow he took a bump into someone. Looks like Immortal's actually following the second then. GM Matthew in fourth. JB ran in sixth. And Rocket, I don't know. The positions are a bit screwed up, it looks like, but nonetheless. Anyway, these guys coming in for their first hot lap. Let's bring the timings board up and have a look at the sector times as they come in. So currently the best first sector is what looks to be well, Immortal and Pazin both with very similar times in first sector. GM Matthew only a couple hundredths behind those guys, so all very close first sectors at the moment. Pazin pulling in a second sector time of 26.836. Sam Hablo with a little bit of a slower first sector there, so he'll be looking to improve on that, as will Rocket with the 25.2s. And Immortal with about 2/10 up on Pazin at the moment, and Matthew there with a slightly slower sector too. So it looks like Immortal will be looking to take this first sector, and Tam Hablo currently having spun on the exit of Lesmo. So he's lost his first timed hot lap. Bart gets the first one in, Pazin with a 22 flat, 20.090, and Immortal jumps ahead of him as expected, 2/10 up with a 21.882. GM Matthew coming in third, he gets a 22.460. We're about to see JB's time posted here, which is pretty fast actually. He goes top with a 21.844. It looked quick from the first couple of sectors, and he's actually pulled first by just 0.04 of a second, so he takes first. And Rocket with a 24.242, he'll be looking to improve that, and Tam Hablo lost his first lap, so he is already in the pits by the looks of things. He's putting on another fresh set of tyres, and by doing that he will have to run the rest of his race and get some good laps, otherwise he's already used up 3 or 4 minutes of time here, and we're just seeing Rocket doing a 360 on the exit of the second chicane, Rogia. Let's take a look at our current Q3 leader, which is JB with a 21.844. Coming in fourth from Q1 with a 21.2. In Q2 he took fifth with a 21.8. And he's already matched that here already. 21.8, and Immortal takes first now then with a 21.7. Pazin already having pitted, I can only presume. Or maybe not. Maybe he just lost. Yeah, he did. So he took the pits there, which means that he'll be on the fresh tyres now for his last couple laps, looking for that perfect lap. potentially Immortal going for a no pit stop strategy for this Q3 session. Tyres might be just wearing down on the last lap or two, so we might have already seen the best lap from Immortal depending on how well he's managing the tyres there.
5 minutes, guys.
GM Matthew lost his second sector, so this lap isn't going to count for much. But Rocket, also having not improved there, he's on a 24. These guys really need a good lap now. Not long left. Only about 4.5 minutes. Tam Hablo also struggling to get a good lap, and he's on a 26, so he is 5 seconds off the leader, which is still Immortal. We're about to see a couple new sets of times. Here is Immortal crossing the line, and he looks to take a new top time, which he does. He beats that by several tenths. I think about 5 tenths he beats that by, so he gets a 21.2. That's going to be very difficult to beat. Pasm comes across the line. Looks like he lost it just a little bit in Sector 1, so he only got into the 25s from the last lap, and he is now going to want to try and push ahead of JB, at least for second place, get the front row on the grid. JB defending that. Looks like he's got fairly slow sector times here, so potentially not going to be beating any records with this lap. We'll find out in just a moment. Gonna take a quick drink. It looks like JB went into the pits, so he'll be looking to make his fast laps now. He's got the fresh tyres on. Here is Immortal crossing the line once again. Doesn't beat his previous best, so he's still on a 21.2. Pasm just about to cross the line. We'll go to him now. Not the fastest Sector 2, but he's got a pretty good Sector 1, and let's see if he can beat, which he moves ahead of JB then with a pretty good time of a 121.6, so he's 2 tenths up on JB. Immortal still in first, 4 tenths up on Pasm, so a pretty significant gap there, and not long left to change that. Tam Hablo has moved into 5th with a 22.495. Rocket really needs a good time now, but his first sector is not that great, so he is really struggling now because he's going to have to make his last lap make all the difference. It looks like he's going to just get that one last lap in, or maybe sneak a final lap in, we shall see. But currently not lapping quickly with a 126 flat, so that is not going to cut it. His best being only a 124.2. He really hasn't hit that fast lap yet, which he needs. Probably got time for 2 more laps with 2 minutes left on the clock, so he can get around here and then get 1 more lap in, assuming that he makes no mistakes. And that gives him a good opportunity to try and jump ahead of potentially Matthew and Tam Hablo if he can get into the low 22s. Immortal getting a new best lap. This is getting pretty ridiculous. He gets a 20.998. Extremely good time for a Q3 there. And Pasm coming across the line. Got a pretty slow sector 2. And he gets a slow time there. 25.8. So 1 lap left for all of these guys then. At the front it looks like. So it looks as if JB and down, JB, Matthew, Tam Hablo and Rocket will get 1 more lap. Immortal and Pasm are going to be squeezed for 1 more. Immortal should be able to get 1 more. Pasm, it's going to be close. Rocket does get into the 22s finally, but it's not good enough. He's on a 122.9, so still in 6th place there. He needs to improve that with this 1 final lap. Matthew gets down to a 122 flat, so he's looking pretty solid in 4th place now. This is his final lap. Tam Hablo also on his final lap with a 122.495 best. Immortal will get one more lap in. He pushes his time down further once again, and I believe has also parked the car. Oh no, sorry, I'm seeing someone else then. Is that JB? No, Matthew. I don't know. Tam Hablo. Someone. I don't know. Pasm gets a new best. He goes down to a 121 flat, so 3/10 behind Immortal's best. And that is all that we will see from him. Question is, can any of the guys down below jump a place or two? Looks like Immortal will probably be taking first, Pasm most likely taking second, JB currently defending third. Let's see if GM Matthew can crack that time. Tam Hablo is on a pretty killer lap right now. He has got an absolutely ace second sector. He should look to jump a few, and he does. He gets into third place with a 121.6. GM Matthew doesn't quite manage to jump ahead of JB. He beats his best, going to a 128.859, which is just 1/100th slower than JB. So JB secures fourth, GM Matthew fifth, and Rocket takes a respectable 6th with a 122.9. And those are our final standings for Q3, and that wraps up this qualifying session for Monza, the Italian Grand Prix, for the WRS Championship. Of course, the race coming along tomorrow at 7 PM GMT. Check what time that is for your local time. At 7 PM GMT. If you live in the UK like me, that is of course 8 PM. The race will be streamed. Go check out my channel. You will find the link for the race stream. Full commentary for that one. I'll quickly bring up the final scoreboard here of the day, which summarizes our Q3 session. Go. Get that in there too. I forgot to put our checkered flag on. Ah, no. So there is the final times then from Q3, and I shall also bring up the grid positions, the starting positions for tomorrow's race. If you just give me 1 second.
I blew my chance for a 7th lap when I ran wide in Lesmo 2.
It was weird. I just switched to you randomly, and you had just done that.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
See, my last lap I spun out as well. Were you watching me?
No.
You're like employing black magic in me or something?
Yeah. I'm maybe last 2 seconds, I think.
Rocket suggesting that black magic is at play.
5 seconds or 4 seconds in that instance.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Is that good?
So, here are the grid positions for tomorrow's race, and alongside it the Q3 final times. So, on the pole position is our newest entrant to the F1 Series, GTP Immortal. He takes Q3 with a fast lap of 120.708. On the front row with him in second is Pasm with a 21.029. And third, our qualifying podium is Tam Hablo with a 21.6. Next to him on the row is JB, 21.8 in fourth.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with Q3.
Row 3 we got in fifth GM Matthew with a 21.859, and alongside him in sixth Rocket with a 22.975. In seventh place we have got WRP with a 22.003, and alongside him Hasselhoff with a 22.140. Next row we've got Gazzy Boy in ninth with a 122.633, and next to him Pierre with a 22.634 in 10th. 11th place OTX JTO with a 23.296, and alongside him Spurgy, who unfortunately couldn't qualify in Q2 due to connection problems.
I can either, for one, I can send you a big box of cookies or chocolate, or I can wipe you off the track.
Yeah,
He gets a 22.108.
I was
Gravitron in 13th with a 22.481, and alongside him Jammy with a 22.771. In 15th we have Mika with a 22.902, and alongside him Lefty White with a 23.998. And on his own, sadly, at the back,
hopefully we pick up
we
a
have
lap time for
Vampire with a
Spurgeon so we can at least throw him on the board there.
25.845. So that is the final results from qualifying. As I said, the race tomorrow should be an absolute thriller as usual
Well, then he'll start in 12th,
for the
unfortunately.
Italian Grand Prix.
This is a track to start back there, I guess. Unless you want to win.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna win. You know, just putting bets down.
Well, if Pablo and
We hope you guys enjoyed
Bart kick each
the
other
stream
out,
anyway.
maybe someone else
Certainly
can. That's about the only way.
some great lap times there, and we've seen some
Did the tyre things
last
just like
minute
the-
changes
like
and
that,
positions, and
the
as usual
tyre
some
work,
exciting qualifying, which always bodes well for an exciting race.
I
So
think some people in
be
this
sure
could
not to
make
miss
a
the
more-
race tomorrow.
like an
Should be an
unscheduled
absolute
purchase for no
cracker.
apparent reason and still-
I'm going to sign off here. My throat is just about reaching
Okay,
the
I'll
limit
employ
of
some
its
weapons like
existence.
smoke
I
screen
need
and
to
spike
rest that for
strips and
tomorrow.
stuff.
So on
Wrong
that
game,
note,
man.
I'm going to sign on
I'll
out of
make it
here.
whatever game I want to be. Have you not heard the hybriding?
I can just hear Rocket shouting about something in the
I'll make this
background.
car 44,000 HP.
Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you tomorrow for the race.
And what
Have a
you
good
said,
evening,
well, nothing,
afternoon,
I'll probably
morning,
be banned
whatever
from
time it might be for you,
TV,
and we'll see you soon. Peace out, guys.